My name is Surgeon Dismite. I just want to hop on here and share my story on why I'm so passionate about what I do, and I just want to give you guys some insight on like how I grew up and how I got so involved with fitness and the different things that's happened in my life that have really put me on a different trajectory for my life. So to start, I grew up, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, okay? I was raised by my grandparents, so my grandma and my grandpa, and my aunt in particular. Reason being is because when me and my brothers were, I have a twin brother, so I think we were 5 at the time, around 5. My younger brother is 4. We were living with our parents at the time, and then all of a sudden they got sick, like really sick. Being that young, we didn't know what was going on, and she went to the hospital. My mom and dad weren't together at the time. They've been married, and then they got divorced. My dad lived in California, and my mom lived here in Iowa. And when we were living with her, she got really sick, and she had to go to the hospital. And we didn't know why, what was going on or anything. And then before you know it, she just kept getting really, really, really sick. And then all of a sudden she passed away. So, and at that age, my mom was 29 years old. So you think about 29, that's like really, really young to be dying. Somebody that she was in pretty good health, in good shape, took care of herself, loved singing, very active. And for somebody to die that young is just crazy. But come to find out, I didn't find this out probably until like I got a little older, that she died from HIV complications. So way back in the time, like the studies and the different tests and stuff that's gone on they weren't as advanced as they are now. So so she passed away when we were about 5 years old. And then from there, me and my brothers moved into my grandparents' house because my dad or my grandpa didn't want anything, like my dad and mom would fight all the time, so my grandpa didn't want any of that to happen. So he brought us into his house, and we moved in with my grandma, my grandpa, and my aunt. So there, my 3 brothers, we just lived there. I mean, like growing up without parents is growing up without parents is hard. And then when we turned 9 or so, we found out my dad died in California. Since we really didn't have a relationship with him, we didn't really go visit or anything like that. But at that time, all we knew really it was about like my grandpa and everybody, just my mom's side of the family. But growing up in your grandparents' house is really different. Like they weren't like the nurturing type, hugging, cuddles, and all that. It's just different. Like they were more like because they weren't our parents, so it was more of pick yourself up, you'll be fine, and it's just stuff like that. Like your grandparents are. I mean, they love you, but like it's not the same love as you get from a parent. But either way, I'm just gonna talk about like the stuff that's happened. So as we were living with our grandparents, I think we were about, I want to say maybe 8. Me and my brothers, we were all sitting down at the kitchen table. We were eating supper, and then all of a sudden my grandpa was watching TV in the living room, and like said, "Hey," called out my brother's name, and then we're like, "Oh, what's going on?" We walk in there, and all of a sudden we see my grandma laying down on the couch, like not moving, like eyes wide open, not moving, and my grandpa was screaming for my brother, like, "Call 911, call 911!" Like it was crazy, it was chaos, and we didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden my grandpa was doing CPR, and my grandma and my brother was calling 911, and we're all just in the living room, like looking at what's going on, like very, very traumatic feeling. and then they rushed her to the hospital and she ended up dying of a heart attack. And like that really marked me. It was like the very beginning of the effects of like how I've seen like how obesity could kill somebody. Like, and my grandparents both weren't in the best shape growing up. I mean, they both suffered from either being a diabetic or just having complications from being overweight. And my grandpa was no different. I remember even being at the funeral, like at my grandma's funeral, like my grandpa like kneeling down in the casket, repeatedly crying out, like for her to wake up. It just like that feeling, like that memory, it's just something that burns in my mind forever. Like yesterday, I could hear his voice. But it's just something that moves me because it's like, man, like she went out way before she should have. Like I think she was around, I think less than 60 years old, and she died from a heart attack. So I mean that really marked me about how obesity can affect you. And then fast forward some years, me and my brothers are at the park playing basketball with our cousins. It's on 4th of July, 2004, and we get a call. It's raining, we're playing basketball, so we're coming home. We get a call to come home. We come home, everybody's sad inside the house where we're going, and all of a sudden they're like, your aunt passed away. They found her unresponsive in her college dorm. And like, it's like just take that air out of your lungs. It's just like you can't breathe. You're like, what? And because she was really young, she was 24, and she passed away. And she wasn't in the best shape either. So I figured, like, okay, well, that probably had something to do with it. But I think they did studies, or they did ran tests, and found out that she had an enlarged heart that they didn't know about, which is kind of weird. But like, just dealing with that along with my mom and my dad and my grandma, it's just like, what more could happen, you know? Like, it was just traumatizing. And then, so we dealt with that. Luckily, my aunt is being so involved in her faith in God. Like, she instilled that with us, and she instilled that within us. So I remember going upstairs every single day, and like we would just read the Bible or sing songs and just pray. But so that has definitely laid hold of my life and allowed me to get through a lot of these different tragedies that I've been struck with. So that was huge role in how I'm able to even be alive here today. But still speaking on like the last and most traumatizing death was my grandfather. Like, and he's passed away. I think it's 11 or 12 years now. But like when we were growing up, I mean, he's always had a big old round belly. I mean, he's still menacing. Like we were scared of him, but he was always menacing and very strong attitude, strong-willed, because he had them. Like he lost his wife, he lost 2 children under 30. Like, and I could see it affect him, affect his health and everything. But like he was the type 2 diabetic. He was constantly having to take insulin shots in his belly. Remember, like going to the store, pick up the insulin for him, and bringing him the needles to poke himself, and even taking him to dialysis every now and then. Like it just shows me like how obesity could affect somebody so bad. And I remember being little, like he would take off his shirt and there was a scar from his like collarbone, top of his collarbone, in the middle of his sternum, all the way down like to his stomach. And I remember like touching it and going asking him like, what's going on with that? And he's like he had open heart surgery because he wasn't in shape, and like he used to be in shape but then let himself go and had open heart surgery and just all those complications. Like it just made me not like want to go through that. Like, how could somebody go through that? Like, why would anybody let obesity kill them slowly? Like, you don't think about that when you're young. You're like, oh, I can do this, I got the nice body or whatever. But as you get older and you continue to eat like crap and not take care of your body, it catches up to you. And before you know it, like, you go into the hospital and they're like, oh, hey, we see the spot here, or hey, your blood sugar's high. And like, my grandpa constantly had high blood pressure, high blood sugar, so he's taking, I don't know how many countless pills in the box, like pills on pills on pills on pills on pills, like many pills, like too many to count. Like, it's just traumatizing, and seeing that, like, why would he live like that, or how could he? And then all of a sudden, it was like in November, my wife's grandpa had just passed away, and I remember being at the funeral. We were sitting there eating, and then all of a sudden I get a call from my aunt, like, hey, your grandpa is like in Iowa City and not doing good. So we rushed down there, and they have him. By the time I get down there, he's on like life support, like you can see all the wires hooked up to him, and he's like almost like in a medical coma. Like his eyes are open, like, but nobody's there, you know. Like, I tried talking to him and praying for him, and it's just, you have everything's out there open. Like, it's just like an image that burned in my mind, like I'll never forget. And then we go back to like a room and talk for a little bit, and all of a sudden, he just passed away. Like, I don't know if they pulled the plug or something happened, but he passed away, and like, that was like, he was like the matriarch of our whole family, the glue of our whole family, and gone. Died all from, I believe, like just being out of shape. That with stress and everything, like, but if he took care of his health, there's no doubt in my mind, like, he would still be here, my grandma would still be here, my aunt probably would be here, like, but it just goes to show you that if you don't take care of your health, like, and you let obesity run rampant in your family, that it will take you out. And that's just something that I refuse to pass on to my family. Because now I'm a dad, so I'm learning how to be a dad, like, on my own, because I wasn't raised by my dad or my mom. So I have no practice, nobody to look up to on how to be a dad, other than my brothers, and they're all dads, and they're dads before I was a dad. But through the grace of God and just learning on the go, like, I'm learning how to be a father, or I've learned how to be a father, and just how to be caring for my kids, because I didn't get that caring that I wanted, and that love that I wanted, like a mom and father love. And now I can get that to my kids. But there's one thing that I'm not going to pass down, is being obese, because I've seen the effects of how it ran rampant in my family. And if I sit down and think about it, me and my brothers are the only ones that are really in pretty good shape. And I could like give credit to like my mom, because she was in really good shape. And my dad. But outside of that, like, my grandpa was overweight, my grandma was overweight, my aunts, both my aunts, all three of my aunts were at one point overweight or obese. A couple of them had like the stomach surgery that shrink your stomach. They had that a couple times, and they kind of stuck with it, it's helped. But I've seen how it could affect my family. It could take people out one by one by one by one, and I refuse to be taken out from something that is preventable. Like eating food and eating crappy food and not working out, all that is preventable. This is why I'm so dedicated to my health and fitness, because I've seen the effects of obesity and how it can kill people, and I do not want my children to grow up without me. Like, if I get taken out at an early age from like a car accident, okay, but like if it's something like being obese and like being on type 2 diabetic and having them drive me to dialysis, and like I do not want that, and I will not have that. Like, I'm the last generation to stop that. Like, everybody's been overweight and all that, up to me and my brothers, and I'm changing that line. Like, My family's gonna be in shape. We're gonna be taking care of our bodies, and I will not pass that on to my kids, and he's not gonna pass it on to his kids. So we are, I'm breaking the trend, okay? And that's really why I'm so in love with health and fitness, because I've seen how it affects people, and I want to help others be that person that, like, obesity stops with them. Like their parents and their parents could be obese, but all the way up into this person, and they make that change. Like, it's not gonna happen to me. I want to be that one to help those people to be like, that's not gonna happen with me, because I don't want their kids to have to suffer because they're gone. Like, they get taken out from a heart attack from being overweight. I don't want their kids to go through that, because I went through that. I grew up with that. And I don't want them kids to see that in their parents. So I'm gonna help these parents, like, get into the best shape of their lives so they can pass on that health to their kids and not pass on disease to their kids. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's why I'm doing this. If you like this content, I'm gonna be sharing a lot more things, like fitness related things, like tips, and just how I go about my life. So you can really just subscribe to my channel, or you can just follow my Instagram page. I'm on Instagram, it's @thismite. You can look it up. I'll be dropping all my stuff on there. Like, I'm constantly going live with my on my stories, and I'll be putting different reels out there. But my job is to help the parents, like, break the generation of poor health and obesity. Like, my job is to break that so they can pass on health and not disease. So please subscribe, follow this channel, and I'll see you soon.